The text will exceed a little bit the movie. So. David woke up in a strange and unfamiliar place. A few seconds later, he realized that the strange place was actually his new home in Winnipeg. Not so long ago, he remembered his small apartment in London when he was working at the waterfront restaurant as a cook. He had always dreamed about traveling, but somehow never was able to find the right opportunity. After several attempts to realize his dream of becoming a photographer, he decided to try his luck in another place. He had an aunt living in Winnipeg, and David thought it would not be such a bad idea to stay with her for a few weeks before he finds a place for himself and his son. His wife died long time ago. She drowned while she was trying to save some kid who fell into the river. Life is ironic, he always thought. Trying to maintain his sanity, his young son was reminded that life is not the amount of breath you take, but the moments that take your breath away. No matter how cheesy it may sound, that saying, and yes, life must go on, he would tell himself. Winnipeg is a different story, and it will definitely take your breath away, especially in a cold winter. It was time, he thought, time to break away from the ghost of the past and the hurtful experience that he lived through. He strongly felt that he had to do everything to give his son better chance at life he had, which completely justifies the move, he thought. As they first came to Winnipeg, he remembered that they were really impressed by the Forks, so much so that they have decided to find a place closer to that area. They were both looking toward the river, drawn to the water, the outlook. As they were walking along the river, passing friendly people and geese, they noticed some sort of play structure. When they came closer, they realized that something wasn't quite right about it. They were baffled by its crude assembly, maybe due to its awkward position on the side or the way its finish looked uninviting. They did not attempt to use it. They turned to the green bench instead, where they rested before continuing their journey. The bench, one of many similar benches peppered along the trail, was marked with different graffiti inscriptions and was tied to the lamppost with chains. Unfamiliar with the city, they have decided to look for a place to settle in, maybe along the river, closer to the school they have seen from far. They traveled through a space surrounded by trees. At first, the lot appeared to be empty, but then it suddenly changed. They had a very strange feeling when they walked through the lot. It was a place where everything disappears. You almost become invisible to passers-by when you're inside the lot, surrounded by trees. Time, objects, sounds, and events seem to have little impact on this place. It has its own rhythm, identity, and its emptiness. In addition, the trees were growing fences, as if they were trying to separate the space on their own accord. The chain-linked fence embedded in the trees is still part of them, after the fence is long gone. The trees enclose the lot and the fence that guards the pallets, which are made of trees. In a way, they guard their own graveyard. 6 years later, Jamie was attending classes at the school located on the waterfront drive. It had an odd name, Argyle Alternative High School, which provoked a question, alternative to what? To a regular school? Its chain-linked fence seemed to have deliberate openings, taking away the necessity for the fence in the first place. The fence, it appears, existed only as a support for the no smoking signs posted on the wrong side and for some reason upside down. Maybe it was posted for the smokers who would decide to crawl outside through the openings, even though the cigarette butts-filled cans were strategically placed by the entrance. Although there is no real separation between the inside and the outside, it seems that it all blurred in a single blob of space with fenced trees, no smoking sign, and a promise for alternative education. It was beginning of winter, and the kids were not allowed to use the slide yet. The water was high and the ice was too thin. After the school, Jamie and a couple of his friends decided to snowboard off the slide in order to make it more exciting. With each try, they attempted to go further and further until the ice was too thin to hold the weight of the teenager. After Jamie went under the ice, he struggled to climb back. The water was too cold and the ice was too thin and slippery. Eventually, the water took its toll.